That's
Come on,
sincere.
I can't do the voice. Hello. Sorry. That was really dumb, but I really wanted to do it.
Oh, that's all right. I had like 4 heart attacks. No,
Oh, that's hilarious. She was like, if I disappear before stream, don't worry. It's all good.
And then he was like, but where are you going? Just go do it now. No, I don't want to.
You were like doing your makeup.
I'm like sitting here putting lipstick on my hand while you're talking to me.
Oh my!
Oh, that's amazing.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to a special Rad Pack Live episode. Not our normal live for the month. This is actually extra. This is a bonus you guys are getting tonight, which is awesome. But unfortunately, we did this kind of at a bad time. So we sadly just lost an icon from our childhood, Mr. Paul Reubens, aka Pee Wee Herman. And we kind of figured tonight would be a great night to come on here and talk about it with you guys, because I know he was, important to a lot of people's childhood. He definitely was for me, and I think they kind of feel the same. And we wanted to kind of talk about that with you guys tonight. So welcome to the chat. Mel, how are you doing, kiddo?
I'm good. I'm hanging in there after the big news. Me and my buddy are just trying to hold each other together.
Yeah, I hear
He's been talking to it, like.
Yeah, just remember that one time. Yeah, no, I'm sure.
That actually came out fantastic. It really did.
Now, did you have googly eyes just hanging around, or did you have to go get those?
I had to get them. They're only taped to my hand too, because I don't have any glue.
So see how prepped you were for the show? You on the way home from work, you're like, gotta go get those googly eyes.
I'm literally doing it like 5 seconds before you decided to go live.
And Justin, how are you, man?
I'm doing good, man. It's kind of a bittersweet thing, but it's always fun to look back and go over memories and stuff. So that's what I'm looking forward to. R.I.P. Pee Wee, man. It's almost like Pee Wee, aka Paul Reubens, because it's like,
You're right. I mean, it really is. I mean, when I was getting ready for the show, I was looking up his IMDb, and it's funny because like he was in a lot of movies, and a couple I knew, but there's a lot that he was in that I was like, I don't even know what his character was in that movie,
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
everything I own, like I have a lot of like stuff. It's always Pee Wee, right? And then to me, it's all these other films. I'm kind of like, I don't even know if he was just a voice or if he actually played a part in those movies. And we'll kind of go through his, filmography a little bit here tonight and talk about these movies and what we remember and what we don't. And, you guys can chime in as well and kind of tell us your thoughts on a lot of this stuff. But, my memories, my initial memories with him growing up, I mean, I think it had to have been Pee Wee's Playhouse first, I would think. I mean, it's weird because Big Adventure came out in 85, and I don't think Playhouse came out in 86, I think. So I don't know. I don't know if I saw Big Adventure first. I had it on VHS, but I'm almost positive Playhouse is probably where I was introduced to him. What do you guys think?
That was something that actually I always just assumed, because the TV show is what I found first. That's my earliest memories that I can recall. I don't think I knew that the movie came before. I always just assumed that the show, became popular, and then, like normally a show gets popular, then the movie comes. So it's interesting that the movie came before the show. It seems like a really bold choice for a movie studio, like an original property. It's like this wasn't a sequel or anything. Just Pee Wee, this weird movie comes out of nowhere and becomes popular. It's kind of crazy that it went over as well as it did. And then we had 4 years of the show. I think the movie came out in 85, and then the show
85.
ran from 86 to 90. So only 4 seasons of the show. And from what I read, Pee Wee, or Paul Reubens, like it was kind of his choice to end the show. He was kind of burn out or whatever. But that was a crazy ride,
Yeah, I watched his interview with David Letterman before the movie came out, and it was like he had this idea for this movie, and he had like a script written. Him and some other guy wrote the script for like a year, and then when they were trying to like get studios to buy into it, they were like, nobody knows who you are. You have to go introduce yourself to the world. So then he had to like go do like all this stuff, and he had to be on like get himself on David Letterman and stuff to try and promote himself just to get studios to buy into his movie.
Yeah.
Now,
And
is that kind of how he was, just that character was discovered? Because I know he had like a little like talk show, right? Like, was that what that was? Pee Wee Herman Live. They said he created that because he actually did not get chosen to be a character on Saturday Night Live. That was his initial, I think, thing, was he wanted to be on Saturday Night Live, and he was turned down. And then it said that I think in like 81 he had that Pee Wee Herman, I think we called it like the Pee Wee Herman show. I don't know if it was like, I don't even remember ever seeing that. Was it like a late night show? What was that?
It was on HBO. It was on, it's like he developed the character way back, like a different, like kind of an super early version of it in the 70s, because he was a member of the Groundlings, which was like a comedy troupe or improv and stuff. There's a lot of people who have come out of the Groundlings, but that's where he started the character. And then, yeah, like you said, he didn't get through his audition. Ended up hiring Gilbert Gottfried. They both what do you call it? Auditioned at the same time, and they thought they were so similar, But Gottfried ended up, getting part. So he was really bummed about it. So, but he knew he had something with the character. He knew it was special. So he just grinded really hard and built it into like a live show, a stage show. And he would have all of his Groundlings friends come around. That's when you had Phil Hartman and Lawrence Fishburne and all these cool improv actors from back in the day. And then he developed the stage show, and it was big enough, I guess, to get buzz enough for movie studios, thinking it was just a wacky character that was a perfect combination for Tim Burton. Pee Wee's Big Adventure was Tim Burton's very first movie, which is just wild.
Well, and it sounded too like his original idea for the Pee Wee Herman character wasn't to be a kids show icon. It was to be more of an adult kind of character, which seems so strange to me considering how he was portraying himself.
Kind of though, but there's certain aspects of Pee Wee, especially if you watch like Big Adventures, where he's kind of a sociopath. The way he interacts with people. He's so unaware about how people perceive him. Like the way he treats Dottie, poor Dottie, just like fawning over him, and he's like, "Nah, I'm good."
There's some like kind of sexual innuendos too in like some of his stuff, like the Big Top movie. I watched that today, and I was like, "Whoa, what's going on here?" Yeah,
that's a wild movie.
That movie was entertaining for sure.
Now, Big Adventure. Now, when we did our Rad 9, that was on there for me. I mean, that was like iconic for me growing up. And I went out there and said it, and I'll say it again. Honestly, like, I think Pee Wee's Big Adventure is like a freaking masterpiece from like head to toe. Like,
I think it is too.
There's something about it that's so different, but it works on every angle, but I feel like it should never work that well. Like, it's just so bonkers and so off the wall that it should never be as good as it is. And is it him? Is it the story? I don't know. But I mean, for me, it's just one of those movies that I feel like I could watch at any time and never, ever get tired of it. And that's
lightning I think it's just lightning in a bottle. Like things like movies like that just don't happen too often. This was in 1985. So like the era, the aesthetics of the house, the Pee Wee character, Tim Burton's voice, the script, somehow it just all came together. And it's a perfect movie. Like every frame is just kind of iconic and perfect. Every line of the movie's funny. It's a great performance.
There's so many like lines that I feel like I still use on a regular basis that like it's just sticks with you forever. Kind of like, Mel, we talk about the Burbs. I feel like there's so many good one-liners. Like this is kind of the same way. Like everything, I see right here, and we can do it in 1 second, but Cody chimed in, and you just see this phrase, and it's like you kind of just know it. So Cody says he wants us all to do an impression of "I'm trying to use the phone." So I mean, like you see that, and all of a sudden, like in 2 seconds, I can just be like, "I'm trying to use the phone," like exactly where it is. Like you just get it, it just works.
Yeah, that one scene that stuck out to me, because there's so many like I know you are, but what am I? But one of the wackier parts and one of the funniest lines when Pee-wee's just going insane is that initial scene where he's got everybody in the basement and he's grilling him, getting the whole town together trying to find it, and he starts to lose his mind. He's like, and knitting, and he just says it over and over. I'm like, Pee-wee is literally kind of insane, 100%. He's in his own little world. And he's kind of a psychopath.
That's like the perfect way to describe it. He's in his own little world.
Yeah.
He's kind of like that in like all across the board with the Pee-wee stuff.
Yeah.
It really is. Do you have something you want to say to us, amazing Larry? It's like all the different characters are like in his face.
Amazing Larry.
It was like the Native American guy that was like sitting there or whatever. Or then like, I'm Chuck. He's like, he owned the bike store or whatever.
Can we just do the rest of the stream, you guys doing impressions?
Let me ask you this, Mel. Where did you fall with Big Adventure? Because I know when we were talking about this, you felt like me and him had like a way bigger, fascination for Pee-wee growing up. Was this something that was in your realm as a kid?
I remember watching Playhouse like Saturday morning, but that I mean, honestly, that's about it. I just didn't like grab onto him like you guys did. You guys have like way more nostalgia for him. I liked him as an actor, Paul Reubens. I liked him in other stuff. His character in Buffy the Vampire Slayer is by far my all-time favorite, just because it was so funny, over the top. It was outside of his Pee-wee character. But yeah, I watched Playhouse Saturday mornings, but my childhood wasn't full of like a bunch of kids stuff. So the fact that I guess I even saw it is something, but I enjoyed it, but I didn't make it a point to like, buy the physical medias or have any stuff to show for him or anything like that. But I mean,
well, what about in the sense of like Big Adventure? Is that something that you're very familiar with, or have you seen it in passing? Like, I mean, do you have it on Blu-ray as well? Or
no, I don't have any physical release of it. I've seen it.
like when? Like, let me ask you this though: when's the last time you've seen it? You think?
Probably when I was younger,
dude. I'm telling you,
I tried to rewatch it, but like I can't find it anywhere, and I didn't want to have to buy it.
I would buy it, dude. I'm telling you, you're gonna.
You don't want to own Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
I didn't want to buy it like on streaming,
Oh yeah. I'm gonna say like, and you know what else too is I was talking to Wes about it, and I saw him in the chat. So what's up, Deadpit? That 4K for this is probably overdue, and I'm assuming it probably will be coming out soon. I mean, I don't know. I think Warner Brothers owns at least that movie. But I mean, I would say if keep your eye out for that. If not, like definitely buy this thing. I'll definitely try to watch it because I actually think you're gonna love it now. I really do. Like even as an adult, I almost feel like watching it now. I'm like, yeah, a lot of this went over my head kind of when I was a kid, and I still find it fascinating. And I think I forgot. I might have said when we started, but I just want to give a shout out to Brandon Tabata over at Tabata Vision for that awesome intro that you guys saw at the beginning of this episode. If you were here from the beginning, that little remembrance for Paul Reubens. He made that and told us we could use it tonight. So thank you, Brandon. Go check him out at Tabata Vision. I probably didn't say anything because I think that distracted me from saying it. That guy. I think that guy kind of took the sales out of it.
Knucklehead.
I love it. Yeah. But yeah, we'll go through the chat really quick because I see people chiming in. Let me see. So Doctober says he just bought Big Adventure and he's going to watch it for the first time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, man. I'm actually kind of a little bit jealous in the sense that it's so funny because it's such a important movie to me that I really don't know how someone watching it for the first time would feel now. Like, would they be like, this is great? Or is it going to be like, this was the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life? Like, it's hard for me to know, because as a kid, it was like, this was the greatest thing ever because I knew him as a character, so none of it was that different for me. And it has it's got some scary elements to it, think Tim Burton style stuff and stuff in here that people still talk about today. What do you think, Justin, for people watching it now? For me,
I'm trying to think. I was just thinking about it. Like, what the hell would somebody who doesn't know any now? to somebody who doesn't know anything about Pee Wee and has never seen him in anything, that's a hell of a character to be introduced to. And it's such like from the open. I mean, think about the opening scene. This giant, like this grown man acting like a little like 8-year-old in his weird house, dumping cereal on his pancakes. Like, I have no idea. I love it personally, but I don't know if that's. I feel like it goes beyond like childhood nostalgia because it's just the movie's so well made. You know,
Right.
it doesn't quite have that full like Tim Burton's voice wasn't fully developed. This is his first movie, but it still has a lot of dark parts. Like it's kind of a weird kind of cult thing because I think Paul Reubens didn't intend it to be a full-on kids movie. So I think he was cleverly built in a lot of aspects that could kind of go either way for kids and adults. You know, because it's a very weird movie.
I mean, that beginning scene, the opening scene where he has a dream and he
It's so
wakes up,
good.
and it's like right from there, though, it's like he's so out there when it sense where you're not sure if he's an adult or a child. Like he puts on his like
Yeah.
rabbit slippers and then he like makes him sniff like
Makes
this,
them make them
toy
look
carrot.
interact.
And then it's like no matter what he has in his room, he like will play with it for like 2 seconds and then like move on. It's like he's like this crazy.
He had it. His slippers had their own toy. Remember, he like there's a carrot, a toy carrot that he like makes them interact with.
It is. It's totally just like out of control. Like, and everything he walks by, he's gonna like touch it and like play with it for a second, and then like move on. And then he goes to the bathroom. So he can't just brush his teeth. He's putting tape on his face.
Mad dog. Arr, arr.
Dude, I've done that so many times before. I do that with my son when he's got like the toothpaste on. I'm like, Mad Dog, like with him all the time.
And that Rube Goldberg machine, I remember growing up watching that. That intro is so incredible, and he goes to all that work. Like a Rube Goldberg thing, by design, is to do something like a very complicated way to get to a very simple task. And he gets that done, and then he doesn't even eat the breakfast. That's what I thought was the best thing.
Yeah.
He takes one bite with his giant spoon after making this whole spread, and he takes, a couple chews, and he's like, I'm done.
It's true. It really
I used to do all that too. Didn't you used to do that too with napkins, just like Pee Wee?
Yeah. And he's like, he had the Mr. T cereal and like the pancake with the mouth with the bacon. He eats one.
I pity the fool who doesn't eat Mr. T cereal.
Oh, Mel, you gotta watch it tonight.
Mel, you've never seen it at all?
No, I've seen it.
Just way back in the day. That's right. You said you saw it years ago.
When I saw it, and I just didn't have an opportunity to watch it again now to refresh my memory. But you guys are doing a good job. Keep it up.
That Alamo scene, how incredible is that Alamo? I feel like we could just go scene by scene and just talk about how amazing every single because you have the opening scene with you have the dream sequence, and then you have the opening scene with the breakfast, which is amazing. Yeah. And then you get right into the introduction of the bike, where you have that great shot of the bike.
Francis,
and then it's the Francis scene. And then from there he goes to the magic shop. And then the bike gets stolen. Like every single I know this movie like the back of my hand. And then it's so cool. He passes out and I forgot about the bike scene. It's just every scene. I'm a loner, Dottie, a rebel. You don't want to get mixed up with a guy like me.
Well,
that girl's like the iconic voice actor. She did like Tommy and Rugrats, and she's done all those amazing voices. She was in House of a Thousand Corpses, but she's such a cutie pie in that movie. Like, what was Pee Wee thinking?
She was in. I loved seeing her in Rob Zombie's 31. She was one of the. She was in that as well, which was cool to see her. Because she's not in a ton of stuff, and she's so memorable of a character. I like you. I like you. Go to the drive-in, and he's just like, ugh. That's what Mel would appreciate that. That's kind of Mel on a regular. I like you.
So what sets off the road? He loses the bike. They don't want to do anything about it. How does he end? Oh yeah, he starts hitchhiking. That's what kind of kicks off the whole thing. He puts on a giant thumb and tries to hitchhike, and then hours and hours.
And then he gets with Mickey.
Mickey's the shit.
Bottom of the mattress, like cut one of them off.
I got a knife and I.
And then he dresses up like the woman. Remember? He dressed up like his woman, and the cop liked them. Please check out that cute little number you got on there. Oh yeah,
that was so funny, dude.
And that's when he finds Large Marge. It's a whole thing, man. But before we went live, one cool thing that happened is I posted a picture of this poster right here, done by Matt Ryan Tobin, and it's signed by Pee Wee, which I was able to meet him twice, luckily, in my life. And Mark Holton, who played Francis, commented on the photo and messaged me and said he wanted to know where to get that. So I thought that was pretty
that's
cool.
awesome.
Oh, yeah, that is awesome.
So he played Francis. So that was cool. I mean, I would love to meet him and get him probably to put his name on that thing too. But
we should ask him to come on.
Cool. Ooh, I should message him right now.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the link, pal. That would be pretty sick, actually.
He's so good in that movie.
He probably would come on, actually. Let me see what people saying. There's so many people in the chat, guys. Thank you guys for chiming in here. Sorry, we've been just entertaining ourselves here and not really interacting with you guys.
We're just having a quote fest over here.
James, what's up? I get to meet Paul at Boston at the Fan Expo. He was amazing. That's awesome, man. When was that? Because I met him a couple years ago at Rhode Island Comic Con, and that's where I got this signed. It's a little 8x10 here.
Oh.
So I got that, and I did like a photo op with him, and then I met him again at Monster Mania in New Jersey, and that's where I got that thing done. So yeah, definitely, he was super nice, man. He really, really was. And the one thing about him as well is like, man, he lived that gimmick. Like that character was like, you didn't know if it was really him or if it wasn't, because almost when, like you said, Pee Wee, aka Paul Reubens, because when he acted like himself, it almost seemed weird, right? Like when he was acting like normal person, it didn't seem right.
Well, when I was reading, because I was just reading a bunch of crap about him. In his early days, he kind of wanted it. He developed the character. He was so obsessed with making Pee Wee he almost didn't want people to think that Pee Wee wasn't him. Like he didn't want people to know there was a Paul Reubens. Like he wanted that kind of to play with the audience to think that Pee Wee is just Pee Wee. There is no Paul Reubens. Like so, he did all of his interviews as Pee Wee. He signed autographs as Pee Wee. Like he completely like absorbed himself into being Pee Wee for like a solid decade or two. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it really, really was. So, I mean, if you guys want, we can just kind of go through some of his filmography, because looking at it now, he did way more than I thought he did. And I know he took like a hiatus for almost 10 years, really. And so there was quite a bit of stuff here. And I want to talk to you guys in the chat, and I'm going to scroll down into the chat as well. And sorry if I missed some stuff, but I want to like get your guys' opinion on this, because there's a lot of stuff that he was in that I can't really pinpoint like what his character was. And like, was it just a small role? Was it not? The first thing I have was actually a movie that's pretty damn cool called Midnight Madness, which is a 1980s movie. I think maybe it was a Disney movie perhaps, but I know Michael J. Fox was in it. I have it on like a DVD, but I'm not sure exactly which character he was in there, because I haven't watched that in many, many years. But it's a real cool movie if you guys haven't seen it.
1980.
Midnight Madness, not Mystery. I just saw somebody in the chat. Yeah, Midnight Madness, 1980. Yes.
It says he was the character didn't have a name. It just says Pinball Proprietor.
Okay.
Is he working an arcade or something?
It must have been an arcade scene. Yeah. And then following up, it says that he was in Blues Brothers, but I've seen Blues
as a waiter.
Brothers. I own it, but I don't remember him in that. So he was just a waiter in that. Okay. So that was still
he was just a waiter.
But then after that, he started to get into these like more Justin movies here.
Cheech and Chong's next movie.
Yeah.
that was what he did after Blues Brothers. Which I don't know if I've ever seen that. I definitely don't remember him being in it. I think he was in Next Movie, and he was also in Nice Dreams.
Yeah, and I remember that was I do remember him being in that, actually, because I think that was a huge deal, because everybody would bring that up, because I think there was a scene where he wanted drugs or whatever in it, or smoked weed or something. And I remember, because I remember at the time it was such a huge deal, because they were like, did you see Pee Wee was another movie where he did drugs and he did this? And I don't own these, I don't think, but I remember that was like a big thing people used to talk about, like in the schoolyard and stuff like that.
He says his character was Howie Hamburger Dude. That was his character's name in Nice Dreams.
Did he have like a big famous line in that? People in the chat that know these movies really well, like I almost feel like he had like a specific line or something, because I remember that being such a huge deal.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
hamburger.
don't
He was
remember.
into cocaine. He said.
Hamburger guy was into cocaine. That's funny.
And then it said that that's when he kicked off his Pee Wee Herman show with that character.
Mm.
And then going on from there, which is funny, was in 1982, he did like a horror comedy, Pandemonium, which I actually have. It's from Vinegar Syndrome, put it out.
Oh shit! I remember when they
And
released that.
I don't
think I
remember
do.
who he plays. Like, I almost feel like, was he in like a food truck? Maybe I don't remember who he played in this movie, but yeah. If anybody in the chat is familiar with that, or was it just kind of? Does it say on there, Justin, who he played in that? Was it a?
It just says
character?
Johnson. That's all it
Okay.
says. Is that a good movie? I remember I passed on it and I didn't know he was in that.
You know, I think yes, but I think you really have to go into it. I think what a lot of people did was they went into it thinking it was like a straightaway slasher, where it's really like a very comedic type of slapstick slasher.
The
So I
trailer
think
looked really, yeah, it looked really like kind of zany and like a
Yeah.
slapstick comedy or something.
So yeah, it says comedy mystery.
Mhm. But I think with the cover art too, it really looks like a slasher because it's got like this killer on the top with like a knife. So I think a lot of people weren't sure what this was, and I think that they were pretty disappointed just based on what they thought it was.
Yeah.
And you're right, Adrian. We have lost a lot of legends this year. It feels like. I feel like this year has been real brutal with deaths, especially in Hollywood and all that stuff. I feel like you see deaths like every day. When it comes to like people in that realm. I follow TMZ, I think, on Instagram, and I feel like every day I scroll by and it says somebody else has passed away, and I'm like, Jesus.
Norm Macdonald, you had Gilbert Godfrey,
Right. Speaking of Gilbert Godfrey, we were just talking about it for sure. Yeah, which is crazy. It's just wild just to think. And again, it starts to make you feel old because then you feel like everybody from your generation is like leaving, and you're kind of like, oh my god, like everybody, that was a part of my childhood is gone. It's crazy. And then it also said he was in '84. He was in Meatballs 2, which again, I don't think I own that. I don't believe so. I don't know if I've ever seen it or not.
I haven't.
But I wouldn't know who he would have been on that. And that's when we get into Adventure in '85. And we've talked plenty about it. Pretty much, we could always talk more. But
I know you want to.
But I got the Blu-ray here.
I couldn't believe I didn't own it, man. I had to rent it. I was like, how the hell do I not own that? I have this cool VHS box set of the show,
Ooh.
which is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I fucked it up. There it is.
So wait, do you not
I
have
don't
Big
own
Adventure at all?
No, I don't.
I used to have it on I might have it toted away on like a Snapper case DVD for a while.
I remember the Snapper case. Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, we could talk about freaking Big Adventure all day. And I know you recently did like a review on it too recently, right? So
yeah, I did a review on The Dead Couch, and then on Movie Watch Daily, I did like a little retrospective video where I kind of just went through his whole career and gave some memories about it. It was weird. Like as I was editing it, I started to get like emotional a couple times. I was like, waves of sadness just hit me. And I was like, God damn, like I think I had forgotten. It had been a while since I've revisited Pee-wee, and I hadn't thought about like how big he was in the 80s and how much I consumed the movies. Like Big Top Pee-wee, which we'll talk about too. Like I watched that movie constantly. I remember that sandwich scene for some reason always, and all these just random memories of these movies and the TV show. I remember we had a VHS tape of the Christmas special that he did, and we used to watch it all the time. Me and my sister, we get up on Saturday. Oh, they have a DVD of that. That's amazing. Yeah, we had that recorded on VHS. It's a fun special. It's such a cool. The show was so creative.
Yeah, I mean, it had so many guest stars in it, like Frankie Avalon, Charo, the Del Rubio triplets, remember? Annette Funicello, Zaza Gabor, Whoopi Goldberg, Magic Johnson, Grace Jones, Katie Lang, Little Richard, Joan Rivers, Dinah Shore, Oprah Winfrey. They got a bunch of different people in this special. I can remember, like you said, watching this constantly around Christmas time back then. It was always on like just regular television and stuff. So I was so happy to get this because there are some pretty iconic scenes, and I don't think this is in this might be the only way to get it, because I also have the Playhouse on DVD full collection, but this isn't part of it. this is kind of like its own thing. So that was definitely a staple of my childhood too. But yeah, I always remember the whole incident with the yellow snow that he finds and all this stuff. And then everybody kept giving him like fruitcake or something. I remember for like a gift.
Oh yeah, the fruitcake. Yeah, yeah, like a big giant stack of fruitcakes.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I mean, I would definitely either wait because this has got to be a 4K soon. I think maybe someone even said it in the chat. They said watch Warner Brothers is going to take full advantage of this and put it out like right away.
Well, hopefully
a double feature would be amazing.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, because I don't think Big Top has a Blu-ray at all.
Yeah, I don't think it does either.
No. So again, I'm sure we'll get back to some Pee-wee's Big Adventure as we go, but I want to just kind of coast through some of this stuff. And this is kind of where the show came out. And like you said, you have the VHS. That's sick, dude. I have just these. This DVD sets.
No, that's cool though.
Of the show, because again, just being a huge fan of that show. And I pulled a clip that I want to watch with you guys. And I think I even mentioned it to Justin when I was at his house, because we put on the Playhouse for a little bit. Remember on the VCR we did?
Yeah.
And I was trying to find
why?
No, like you fucking, because we fucking love Pee-wee.
What?
Because two reasons. We were in the Rad Pack Playhouse and Pee-wee's Playhouse. No, there was a scene I wanted him to see because I still can't get over the scene. I remember
you talking about a specific scene.
And it blowing my freaking mind. And it was either Pee-wee's the biggest genius or the show started to get real stale and he was like sick that day or like super lazy, because this one scene is just, it's one of like the weirdest 2 minutes of television I've ever seen. I just couldn't remember which episode it was. So I think we were looking for it, but I was like, I'll send it to you or whatever. So I pulled it up and I want everybody in here. We got 50 people in here and we're going to watch it together for the first time. And I want to hear what you guys have to say about this game. Okay? All right. Tell me what you guys think of this. You guys, everybody pay attention right here. This is Pee-wee's Playhouse. I'm telling you, this whole episode is like this. It's like this random shit that like drags so Pee-wee doesn't have to do much. It's fucking funny. Ready? Here we go.
Hungry? Okay, I'll feed you.
Yeah, what's this? It's like a Family Guy skit.
Bro, I'm not kidding, dude. This goes on for 2 minutes.
And eating and eating.
2 minutes of this. What?
Justin, voice over it.
What is going on here?
Dude,
my mind is like blown right now. What the fuck? This is like Adult Swim.
Like just sitting here watching this. I remember being a kid and being like,
is this like some avant-garde? I think it's like some like avant-garde ahead of its time type shit right now.
Dude, what is this?
This is ASMR. This is Pee-wee's Playhouse ASMR. What's still going on?
Oh my god.
Is he gonna polish off this whole bowl just on cam? Why did they show all that? Just one quick reaction shot, that's it?
Bro, how crazy was that?
It cuts to Pee-wee, but then like goes right back to him chomping that food.
Well, if you listen, what happens is it goes to Pee-wee and the dog starts going like yakking, and then it goes back to the dog again. But like, what happened there was Pee-wee like shoot the dog and just like stay on it for the whole time.
That's so bizarre.
He literally, it stayed on until he ate the whole damn bowl. Like,
that is the most bizarre sequence.
And the thing was, there was like no music. It was just him chomping like.
Yeah, there's no sound design or anything zany going on. What led to that? What was the beginning of that scene?
ASMR before ASMR.
It wasn't really anything. It was just like he was talking to somebody. He goes, "Oh, I gotta go feed my dog," and then it just went into that scene. They did that, and it just like sat on the dog for like 2 minutes, and then that scene ended, and it went on to something else where he went like, "Oh, let's do a penny cartoon." Like it was like honestly, the whole show was like Pee-wee must have had like 5 lines of dialogue. I'm like, he must.
It must have been a filler episode.
Yeah, like they just did all this weird shit. But I don't know. I always thought that was
that's amazing that you remember. Isn't that weird? The things that stick in your mind, like that one scene stuck in your mind for the last who knows how long, 25 years or whatever, that damn dog.
I mean, being a little kid staring at the TV for 2 minutes, just watching a dog eat food, like it just didn't. Like
I think that's just like some Adult Swim type shit. I think didn't they run Pee-wee's Playhouse on Adult Swim for a year or two back in the day? I think in the
I don't know.
2000s
I think they
ran
did, yeah.
And
On
now
like
I
a
can see with shit
rerun.
like that.
Oh, that's funny because, like you said, Pee-wee's Playhouse was like a staple on like my Saturday mornings. I can still remember, on Saturdays, my dad used to bring us to work sometimes, and he owned the business, so like it would just be me, my brother, and him in there. So he would just tell us, "Okay, sit in the front and just watch cartoons," and he would go in the back and work. And I can remember it was always like things like Pee-wee's Playhouse was always on, The Real Ghostbusters, Captain N, even like Tales from the Crypt cartoon. Like those are always the ones that I remember seeing like on a consistent basis around that time. So, and then we would always end the afternoon listening to Casey Kasem, like what was it called, America's Top 40 or something like that.
Yeah,
that was always like the end.
Casey
And then
Kasem.
yeah, dude, that's another person whose voice was like embedded in my brain forever. But yeah, so The Ring says it was on Adult Swim for a while.
Yeah, I thought it was. It's like kind of works, like that weird retro nostalgic weirdness. The show was just so strange. I had forgotten about the penny segments. Those were really cool, like claymation, stop motion animation stuff.
And then they had the stuff where they'd open the fridge and it'd have all those like clay like, food and stuff.
The puppets and stuff talking. Yeah, that was so creative. So Rob Zombie worked on that show at some point. What did he? Do you guys know what he did actually, or
I don't know if he was like set designer or something like that.
What if he was in fabrication or something?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I remember this, but he was like a peon on the set. He was just like somebody who helped do stuff.
Oh, yeah. So he was just there. Yeah. Did he somebody said I think he posted something after the passing. Did anybody see that? He posted like something about Pee-wee?
I didn't see. I tried to find pictures when I was making that video. I tried to find pictures of Rob Zombie on set, but I couldn't find any.
Oh, Akeem, what's up, man? Welcome. He said he was a set designer. Thanks, Akeem.
Yeah, that's cool.
Cody says he used to watch Pee-wee's Playhouse every day before school. Oh, it was on. It was on early, huh?
Rob Zombie posted. He did a slideshow with two pictures for the post. One is Pee-wee on the set of Pee-wee's Playhouse, and then you slide, and it's his mugshot. He just posted a picture of Pee-wee and then the Paul Reubens mugshot. That is a hell of a mugshot, man. Like at that point, nobody had ever seen anything but Pee-wee. And then to see him with a goatee and long hair with that serious look on his face, I was like, whoa.
I agree.
Not Pee-wee.
I can still remember when that news broke, man. I remember being so confused, because it was in 91, so I was still really young, and to see that, I was so confused because I'm like, that's not him, like I thought it was like all like a lie and all that stuff. But going back on this, James says, and I didn't even realize that Pee-wee's Playhouse has a Blu-ray set, but he says that the Blu-ray set comes with the Christmas special. I didn't even realize that has a Blu-ray set. That's cool.
That's a must buy.
Yeah, Mel's purchasing stuff right now. She's throwing it all in her cart. But here's an interesting one, and I know Wes mentioned it earlier, is in 86, he did the voice in Flight of the Navigator, which again was another staple of mine. I think that was in my Rad 9 as well. So having him as the voice of the alien thing or whatever was just, that was embedded in my brain, because it basically was, he just did Pee-wee's voice. Like that's all it was. Like it was the exact same impression of Pee-wee Herman. And we're almost to a point where you thought the thing was pretending he was Pee-wee because it was that, on point. Great movie, by the way. And then the next one is 87, which we just recently got on a Blu-ray, and that's Back to the Beach.
I love that movie so fucking much.
He basically plays himself, right? Again, like
he's Pee-wee. He's just Pee-wee. Yeah.
I've never seen that one.
That's it just came out from what company? Paramount, I think, presents. Is that who did this?
Yeah, it was one of Paramount Presents with the fold-out posters and stuff.
Yeah,
that's a super fun movie. Lori Loughlin, it's got Annette Funicello and Frankie Avalon. Stevie Ray Vaughan's in it. He's like playing in the band. But yeah, Pee-wee's just doing his thing. He surfs into the sky at the end. I always thought that was crazy. This big scene where he hops on the surfboard and flies like literally in the sky. It's such a fun movie.
It It really is.
Doing his dance.
Aww.
Shout Factory put it out. It's out of print already. Wow.
I just looked on Amazon. Every Pee Wee thing sold out.
Really?
Yep.
So I guess everybody's jumping on it right now. So even the
Yeah,
Blu-ray
everybody's
of Big Adventure is gone.
I was looking for the show.
Oh.
I wonder if.
Now, do you
Man, I
do you
want that
know it
Blu-ray.
was Big Adventure a huge success like in the theaters?
It
Do you know?
was. It made a lot of money. I think it had a $6 or $7 million budget, and
40
ended up
million.
making like, yeah, it did really, really well.
That is wild. You
Damn,
know what
yeah,
else is funny about
$100
Big
to
Adventure?
Blu-ray.
For what, Big Adventure?
Yeah, it sold out
Really?
$100 on Amazon.
Oh my
Damn it!
god.
Ugh, so annoying.
I guess I won't be buying it then.
That is crazy. I wonder
They'll
if it was
release
100
it.
Aw.
I know.
You know what else is iconic in Big Adventure was the dance at the bar that he did?
Mhm.
Like to a point that my brother and I used to do that all the time with like in all the kids in the neighborhood. And there's literally pictures like I don't know if you guys ever did this, but first day of school, did your parents ever take pictures of you like with the first day of school every year?
Oh yeah.
Never done that happen. No.
No,
With,
my
like-
parents were like, get her out of
Get
here.
out of here.
Take a walk, pal. But so we used to have like this cellar door that they would always like put us in front of every year, and they would take a picture. And I wish I brought them. There's pictures of like us doing like that dance, like the Pee
Hell
Wee
yeah.
Herman dance. Like that was legit how important that thing was in our heads at the time. We were probably like 8 and 6 or something like that, doing the dance. So like the first day of school, like getting ready to go.
That tequila song.
Aw,
So crazy.
adorable.
And then we had the follow up. Boom. Big Top.
And a
And
red
I will
case on
say,
that?
you know what? No, it's just kind of like that. It's like a little bar at the top that says like.
Oh, is that a
widescreen
DVD?
collection. Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know if it has a Blu-ray. It might, but I only have it on DVD. But you know what? To be honest, this wasn't one that I watched a lot as a kid. I think I only saw it once, and then I rewatched it the other night. I have not seen this at like much at all. So I don't know what happened between 85 and 88 on why this wasn't something that was on constant rotation for me. I
It's a
don't know.
completely different movie. It doesn't have all the like the kid stuff in it. It's more of like kind of an adult themed movie. It doesn't have all the wacky stuff. Who directed Tim Burton? Because Tim Burton didn't direct that one.
No, it was let me see.
Randall Kleiser?
No, that's weird. I never even heard of that guy.
Let me see.
It only made 15 million in the box office.
I just remember that girl was that Italian actress. She was also in Hot Shots. She was so beautiful.
Oh yeah,
What's
yeah. What's
Thank you.
what's her name? She was the one
I
that
can
was
never
with
remember.
Valeria Golino.
Yeah.
yeah, she was like the main girl in Hot Shots, yeah. But yeah, I watched it the other night. I thought it was fine. Like I didn't love it like I do Big Adventure. I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
It's like you said, it was so different because seeing him in a more trying to be more of like a regular guy role, it didn't feel right for me.
Yeah. What was the story? How does he end up joining the circus? I can't remember.
He
the
owned it
setup.
or something, I think. He owned
It was
the
like a
circus.
love story. So the circus kind of like came to town and the townspeople didn't want them there. So he let them stay at his farm. And then the guy running the circus
What's up,
was trying to come up with like the grand new idea for the show. And he helped. And then he met Gina and then like started to fall in love with her. So he wanted to be a part of the circus because she was a part of the circus.
Yeah. A weird story.
It was very weird for him because again, like between Playhouse and Big Adventure, that one just really felt a little bit out of place. Still the same character, but it just didn't feel like the same people. I mean, he was still a little bit wacky and zany, but the story around him wasn't as crazy as Big Adventure was.
There's literally a part in the beginning of that movie where he like jumps on a woman, and I'm like, what's happening?
It didn't do as well. It didn't make as
I was
much
like,
money as the
"Geez."
first one. I haven't watched that one in years. I don't remember that much about that one. I used to watch it all the time back in the day, but been a long time since I've seen it.
Yeah, I think we should do a big adventure watch along once you guys figure out how to get that thing. If that thing comes on a 4K, we got to do it. We can
Yeah,
do
that would
site-
be amazing.
Yeah, let's do that.
Akeem says Pee Wee Herman doll is all over eBay right now. How much is it? How much is it going for, by the way?
I would love one, man. Oh, that's amazing, dude. God, that's amazing you have that.
Oh my god, that's so
Wanna hear it, like,
weird.
You want them to not work?
Does it sound cursed?
It doesn't work.
Oh, this is from my childhood. This doesn't work. Let me see if I can get him to go slow.
Justin left. Yeah.
Do you remember that? I always remember that scene in Serial Mom where they're at the flea market, and she wants the doll, and she holds it up to her boyfriend, the Pee Wee doll, and he's like, "Ugh, that guy's a weirdo." Throws it down. You guys remember that scene? Serial Mom's so good.
Oh,
Serial Mom.
I don't remember that scene.
Oh yeah.
That's too
A
funny.
quick throwaway moment, but damn, I'm jealous of that doll. I bet they're going for crazy amounts of money, a few hundred a piece for one of those things, probably.
Even loose that doesn't talk anymore.
I have no idea. I haven't looked it up. I've always wanted one of those stupid things.
Oh, you know what? I love those things. There was a lot that came out like that same style, like the plushy like pull string. Like I have the Urkel one. I have him.
Yeah.
I have the Freddy Krueger one.
They came in those big window boxes.
Yeah.
Do you have the box for that?
I only have the box for Krueger. I don't have the box for Urkel or him. But yeah, those were really cool back then. They had like Ernest was one. I keep my eye out for the Ernest one. Yeah, they're expensive though, but sometimes you can get a little bit of a steal. If you don't care if he works or not, like as far as the voice, and you just want it to have it for display, you might be able to get a decent price on it. But Ernest is the one I'm still after. And who was the other guy that was like, I think Martin Short's character, maybe? He had one. Did he do like a character, kind of like a Pee Wee character back in the 80s? I never remember it. If anybody knows who I'm talking about, I'm pretty sure it was Martin Short that did it. Almost like a Pee Wee character, but they have his pull string guy too.
Oh, the guy with the hair that stuck up.
Yeah,
he would always do the Martin Short.
Yeah, he has a pull string guy. I always see him.
Oh wow, I want all those. He was an SNL character or a SCTV character.
Oh, I tell you,
the Pee Wee doll.
Want to talk about nostalgia for my childhood. Ernest was definitely high up there.
Yeah. We should do an Ernest show. Have we done an Ernest show?
Ed Grimley. No, we haven't, but we
should.
Ed Grimley. Yeah, we need to.
I love it.
Wait, so who am I thinking of? It's not the character from Clifford. I know that. Maybe
Ed Grimley.
Maybe
Ed Grimley.
I do not remember this character at all.
What is his name? Ed Grimley or Jimmy?
Yeah,
from
Ed Grimley.
Where did you see this character?
I just typed in Ed Grimley.
No, Garrett. What?
Why did I bring him up?
Yeah. What were you? I was looking at the eBay listings.
He had a string doll.
Because he had one of those dolls, like
yeah.
So it was like him, Urkel. It was Ernest, and then for some reason they had like Freddy Krueger in there. But I mean that was always one that I see all the time, like on eBay. That's not necessarily as expensive as like an Ernest, but I didn't really grow up with that character. He might have been on.
Holy
like,
shit, they do have one.
Yeah.
Damn, that one's only going for $45. Now I kind of want to buy that. Is that who you're talking about? Can you see it?
Yeah.
You can't really see it, but
is that
damn, I want that.
His name is.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. Pee Wee's going for $250 to $275 for one in box.
Oh, good lord.
Yeah. I think they also had a cherry that goes with that Pee Wee too. You can buy it by itself.
I saw a listing with that, man.
Oh yeah. That's a cool one too.
I want it too. I want it bad.
That's what it must have been. Yeah, I remember the character, but for some reason I never watched it. I don't know why. Maybe because you said it was on Saturday morning cartoon. That's so funny. I really don't remember. But you know what's interesting too is in '88 it says that Reubens was in Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, which
I love that movie.
I don't know where he would have been in this. I don't remember.
I don't remember him in that at all.
So I'm not sure if it was just a cameo, if it was just like a small little part, but I don't remember that at all. And I thought I had Moonwalker on Blu-ray. Did anybody know? Did it come out on Blu-ray? But I couldn't find it when I was looking for it to bring over here. I just found the DVD. But
Yeah.
I thought it had one. But that's another movie that if it doesn't, it really deserves to get something.
I had the
because that
Sega game back in the day.
dude, how sick was that game?
It was amazing.
Oh, so
It was
good.
a really cool game.
Loved that game, and I have the VHS too. Just that cover art is just one of the best with the rainbow light coming down and all that stuff. Oh man, it's so good. I used to have that poster in my room growing up, but when I got older, I ended up ripping it down. I wish I didn't because I think it was like original too.
Yeah, it's a
It
cool
does have
poster.
a Blu-ray.
It does. Who put it out?
Oh wow.
Warner Brothers in 2010.
Maybe I have it. Maybe I missed it. I'd have to go look. If not, I need to get it. Is it pricey?
You can buy it on Amazon, but it's like the European Amazon.
All right, I'll check it out, but I definitely want that. And the one I do remember him in, it's weird because he got arrested in 91. And that was after Playhouse was done. So he really wasn't working on anything around that time. Because I mean, he looked like Playhouse got done in 1990, and he said it was kind of burned out. The crew was burnt out on it. And then it said he came back in 92. And I remember him in Batman Returns, but he was arrested in 91. And I thought for sure he was kind of MIA for a long time after that.
I think he was.
But he did that small appearance in Batman Returns, and then he was in Buffy in 92. That was only a year later.
Well, I think he kind of took a break more in the 2000s because he's got a lot of things going through the 90s. So it didn't really look like it slowed his career down much because he still had Dunstan Checks In, Nightmare Before Christmas, and Buffy the Vampire Slayer all in the 90s. Matilda. Yeah.
Yeah, so he was still getting work. So it didn't seem like, and I was reading a little bit about it, that arrest made a lot of headlines, but it didn't really, it said that he had a lot of support from people in Hollywood after that.
Yeah.
So I don't know like what they said, if they were kind of like, it's not a big deal. It was just, weird circumstance. I don't know. But I remember as a kid, it was a pretty big deal to me. Because he
wasn't hurt. I mean, yeah, it was a little weird, but he wasn't hurting anybody. I mean, he was in a theater by himself,
He was in an adult theater too. Like
it was an adult theater. There's no kids around. It's definitely embarrassing.
Gonna happen there.
I know, it's so. And I guess the Pee Wee tried to offer to do like a children's benefit, like a big free show. The cops should have done it. God damn it! To the police, yeah,
and to the freaking media.
Yeah, those bastards. Like, who arrests Pee Wee? Well, they should have just let him go, dude. That's why it was like such a bummer situation.
Right.
That shit probably happens in that theater all the time.
I mean, that's the only reason they exist.
Basically. I mean, so do you know, if you guys know, like, was he, obviously you see an outpouring of stuff now, but was he pretty well loved universally, like, with his peers? Do you guys know? Like, does anybody have
everything I've heard? From what I've heard, I think he's just beloved. Everybody says he was the coolest guy.
Yeah, I've heard all the same stuff.
So again, Batman Returns, he played Penguin's father, right? That was the big thing for him then. And what's interesting too is the other woman that was his love interest in Big Adventure was the mother in Returns with him. So that was cool that they were back together. Another Burton movie. He brought them back together as a couple, as they were a couple in Big Adventure, which I thought was really cool to see them both.
Yeah, that is cool.
Simone.
Or was that Big Top? Was that Big Top?
No, that was Big Adventure. What do you say to Simone? If he said something like he likes her big butt. Or
oh, it was the diner girl. The diner girl. I was thinking of Dottie. I was like, Dottie was in.
No.
Batman Returns. Yeah.
What did he say? What did he say to her though? Something. I like your big butt. I think he says to her.
I don't remember.
You don't remember that scene in Big Adventure?
I'm forgetting it right now. That's hilarious.
And then Buffy, like you said, that was your jam, Mel. Like, and again, I love Buffy as well. I think that's fantastic. I got this little Blu-ray here, but Yeah, I think it was. It was a really cool character, and it was so funny because even still in '92, I was still really young, and I didn't put two and two together that was actually him until I was older. Like that's how
Yeah, he
much
looks
different
completely different.
he looked. You know, I had
Mhm.
no clue until I was an adult that was him that played that role.
That was, like, the
Yeah.
first time I saw him outside of a Pee Wee Herman role, and I was like, "Whoa,
And
this
he
is
was so good.
amazing." Yeah, and he was still funny, but funny in a different way, you know?
Yeah,
Mhm.
kill him a lot. Yeah, that's a good line. He keeps on getting messed up. He gets his arm ripped off. He just like falls apart during that movie.
He
Like
just wanna
I
die.
yeah, it was so good. I feel like he just never got a chance. Like he got a couple chances here and there, but I don't think he ever really reached his full potential as an actor. Because I really feel like he gave some like tremendous performances. I think he could have done some drama stuff. I just don't think he ever quite got that really meaty role. You know,
Mhm.
I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Like, you know how everybody comes back, like these random actors come back for like an indie drama. I feel like A24 should have snagged him up for some cool, weird, like indie drama or something, and he could have been amazing. You know?
Well, he was in he did come back for that Batman TV show. Wasn't he like the Penguin or
Gotham. No, he
was
was
he
Mm,
still Penguin's dad. He played
Oh,
the same
really?
yeah, he played the same part.
mm.
That is awesome. I mean, I never watched Gotham, so I don't know, but I remember he was at a couple conventions and his line was so big and a lot of it people were having Gotham stuff signed and whatnot. So I never saw the show, but I heard a lot of people really liked him in it. And I
It was
think
a
was the
live
same
action show.
yeah, it was
Mm.
I think the woman was in it too with him, the same one from Big Adventure that was in Batman
Mm.
Returns also returned as his wife, which is crazy to see them together again. Um but like you said, he was busy in the 90s. I mean, Nightmare Before Christmas, that was another Burton one. Burton's, really still has a lot of love, obviously, for him.
Hmm.
Um, and then you kind of moved on from there. And this is another one from 96. I remember this movie, but I'm gonna be honest, I don't think I've ever seen it. And that's Dunstan Checks In. And I know Cody is a big fan of it, but he's also a little bit
Hmm.
younger than me. So I think I was a little bit too old to come 96 to be watching that movie.
Same. Yeah.
So do you guys have any recollection of the movie besides the title of it?
I definitely
Mm-mm.
remember it coming out, but I as well was like a little. I was like maybe just like a year or two too old for it. To where it looked kind of interesting, but I never sought it out to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same with Matilda too. I didn't see Matilda till later.
Same thing. Like Matilda, is what the next one was he did, and again, that was the same thing. I didn't see it. I don't even know if I've ever seen it, to be honest.
I don't think
But
I've ever seen it either.
It's a cool movie. It's very weird. It's Danny DeVito directed it, and he's also in it. It's really strange. It's a cool movie.
Hmm.
Got the little
I'm in.
girl like she was right off the heels of Mrs. Doubtfire, the
Yeah.
youngest daughter. So she's
Mhm.
like super cute. She's a great lead, and it's a really fun movie.
Now, did that just get an upgrade on Blu-ray or 4K recently? Some reason I remember seeing
It's
it
coming
pop
out.
up.
I pre-ordered the
Nice.
Steelbook. Yeah, I
Okay, so
recommend.
that
You should pick it up. It's cool.
I think I'll get it, just because again I don't own it. But what's funny is I always was interested in it because growing up I was a huge like Roald Dahl fan of those
Mm,
books.
yeah.
And Matilda was one that I loved, and I still have like my childhood book of that. It was one that I read a lot as a kid. So I remember
Oh,
when
I
it
didn't know.
came out,
I didn't know it was a. I didn't know that was one of his books.
yeah. So of course, Witches was another one I loved as a kid. So
Mm,
going back and when I saw that in the theater, I was like so obsessed with it. But a lot of his movies, like obviously Chocolate Factory was early, so that was good. But James and the Giant Peach was one that came out. I was too old for that too, so I still have never seen that movie.
yeah.
But the book
Same.
is one that I read a lot as a kid, and that's why I was always interested in Matilda because I love the book so much. But I would, like you said, I was just too old at that point that I never ended up going to see it. So I'll definitely probably pick that up though. And
Yeah, it's cool.
let me see. The next one was another movie, and I never saw this. It was called Buddy, and it looks like it's
Never
about
even.
in '97. It looks like it's got it's about a gorilla. I don't
Is
know
it
anything
Rene
about that.
Russo? From Jim Henson Pictures. I don't even know if I remember that at all.
So Brian Goes Blue, what's up, man? He said Matilda is awesome.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'll definitely snag that then.
It
90
comes out in September.
It does. Is the Steelbook
Mhm.
like a Best Buy exclusive, or like you can get it anywhere, Amazon and stuff?
I got it on Amazon.
Okay.
I think. Almost positive.
I just had it pulled up. Dang it. Yeah, you can just get it anywhere. You can pre-order it on Amazon right now.
I'll do it
I got
after
it.
the stream.
Yeah.
Dr. Doolittle he was in. I don't know what he played there.
Voice. He did a couple of voice things.
Okay. I don't even know if
yeah,
I've ever
probably
seen
an
that.
animal.
I don't think I've seen that movie. Have you guys seen Dr. Doolittle?
I never saw
Like the
that
Eddie
one.
Murphy one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
See,
I
these
saw
are
the
it's
Nutty
weird
Professor.
because
I never saw that.
yeah, I did see. Me too. I think it's I think like you said, like I was just at this age now where a lot of these movies I never went to go see.
Yeah, he played a
Mhm.
raccoon in Dr. Dolittle.
Oh, he did.
Yeah. So he was the voice.
Mystery Men, obviously I know that one.
I've never seen that one actually.
It's like a superhero type movie. I think Kino just
Yeah.
put out a 4K of
Mhm.
it. It's got Dane Cook, it's got Ben Stiller in it. So yeah, it's
Great
it's
90s
okay.
cast.
Yeah, yeah, that's kind of what it was. It was like I don't think it was appreciated till like I think it bombed, to be quite honest with you, and then it gained like a cult following like years and years later. This is interesting. So he's the dude says the practicals and Buddy is amazing. I want to see it because it looks like a gorilla, and I don't know if it's like just a costume or I don't know, but I'm
I wonder if
interested
it
in
was
that.
like Rick Baker or Stan Winston or something. It was probably one of those guys.
Let me see, what is this one?
Guys, I have to step away. I'll be right back, guys.
No. Oh, ready? It's gonna be the fastest ever. I know where those stairs go.
Justin, it's like you weren't even gone.
Just say like, whoop. All right, the next one in 2001, everybody knows Blow.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy movie. Good movie. I don't know what his character was in that, though. It's been a long time since I've seen this thing. Agreed. The gorilla always made me think of the gorilla in Baby's Day Out, too. Huh. I'm going to have to check that movie Buddy out if it's got like that gorilla in it.
It says Derek for real. He must have been like a drug dealer or something.
Well, this next one that came out in 2006, somebody posted on the comments when I posted we were going to do the show that they wanted me to talk about this, or at least bring it up. In 2006, he was in a movie called Tripper. Which is like a slasher movie that I think was written by David Arquette, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I don't know if anybody remembers when this came out. It was actually pretty hyped when this came out. It's not that great though. Justin, you remember this movie, Tripper?
He plays Frank Baker.
I remember watching that. That's directed by David Arquette.
I think it is. Yeah, you're right. That's what I said.
Yeah.
Too, yeah.
Is that a steelbook?
No, it's a DVD.
Ew,
oh, it's a DVD.
He looks terrible.
That movie is wild. I remember seeing that when I worked at Blockbuster. I snagged it on a whim one night. It's kind of a cool movie. It's been a long time since I've seen it.
He looks scary in that movie.
So it says
I don't even remember what it's about, to be honest with you.
As a northern California town prepares for a Frank Baker's, which is Paul Reubens, American Free Love Festival, a serial killer roams the woods, inflicting preemptive strikes on the hippies who have come for sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Nice.
Sporting a Ronald Reagan mask and leaving trademark jelly beans at his gruesome crime scenes, the killer seems unstoppable. That is until he meets his unimpeachable flower child with a hip soundtrack and a killer cast, including, I don't know what it says, and Courtney Cox is in it. The Tripper is a hilarious homage to classic slashers and politics.
Were the jelly beans Paul Reubens' idea? Because that totally sounds like Pee-wee.
I don't know, but I don't remember who it was that asked me to talk about Tripper, but here it is, because I said I owned it, and they're like, no. I was like, I do have the Tripper. But yeah, I remember when that thing came out.
In that movie.
And then we get into the 2000s for him, and it's just, Smurfs. He did some voice acting on a couple things. Accidental Love. I don't know what that is. I've never seen it. That was in 2015. And then 2016 is like kind of the last thing that we've seen him in. And that was when he kind of brought the character back for Pee-wee's Big Holiday. And I did not like it. I remember I was so excited for it. And it was, I think it was like a Netflix original, perhaps, maybe. And I remember watching it being so amped, and I was like, oh, this isn't good. I didn't like this. Did anybody else see that? And what did you guys think of it?
I saw it. I'm going to be honest. I don't think I finished it. With who was in Judd Apatow produced it, and Paul Rust wrote the script with Paul Reubens.
It was the big guy from what show was he on? It was
that hunk. It was that hunk.
True Blood.
What's his name?
True Blood. Yeah. Yes,
werewolf. Yeah.
Yeah, werewolf guy. You've been watching it, right?
I'm literally still watching it. Like, I cannot wait to go watch an episode after this.
So you're watching True Blood?
My favorite show.
Oh, let's talk about it. We gotta talk. I love that show.
I love that
Blood,
show.
You do?
Oh yeah.
You guys do?
I fucking love that show.
Blu-ray,
Why does this just not seem like a you guys kind of show?
How are we not talking about this in the groupity chat? Hell yeah.
Give me that.
That show's so good.
Why don't you ever give me stuff?
I do.
Garrett, send her stuff.
I have a mailbox over there that I just keep throwing things in. It's
Put the mailbox in the mailbox.
Please.
You want to see? Actually, I have your sheet with your address on it right here that I'm about to send out. So if anybody wants Mel's address, just press pause.
I don't want to see that.
Okay.
What season are you on, Mel?
I'm on season 4, but I watched it when it first came out on like HBO. So I did the watched an episode and then had to fucking wait 7 days to watch the next one. So I have all of them on Blu-ray now, all the seasons. So I'm rewatching the whole thing, and I still love it. It's still an awesome show. Like
the first 5 seasons are really, 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 really good, and then it kind of for me it dipped a little bit.
Because I think
started getting
6 seasons, right?
Is that what it is? I started getting out of it around when did I really start to drop? Like when I started introducing fairies and stuff. I think I started to.
Well, that's right now. That's in season 4. That's when you find out that's when you find out the big thing.
I'm trying to remember this. I have not rewatched that show since it aired because I used to watch it religiously every week. And I remember that one season with was it the witches? It was so good.
That's the season 2. That's the season I'm on right now.
Oh, so is that where they make that big pot? Or they make that big blood pie or meat pie or something?
So good.
That's such a good show. We're sitting here talking about True Blood.
I know. We're in the middle of a Paul Reubens retro.
All right, well, before we move on though, I have an issue with True Blood. Tell me this. I do my friends say it all the time. Because what's the main guy's name? The main vampire guy?
Bill.
Bill, in the first couple seasons had jet black hair. All of a sudden it got red. I'm like, why has he got red hair now? What's his deal with his hair? Why is it red?
Because he's in love,
red.
Dude.
Because he just because he becomes king later, so he has to be fancy.
I used to come on. I'd be like, dude, why is his hair red? I used to really annoy me.
There's certain parts of the show where he looks really good, but then depending on what haircut he has, he either looks really good or he looks really bad.
Yeah, they had almost some bad wigs.
It's just straw coming out of his head and
long too, and it's oh, yuck.
I'd assume Eric's the best though.
No way.
What?
Lafayette's the best. He's my favorite.
Yeah. Well, we know what happens.
Love him.
Lafayette.
Anyway.
Yeah, but that was a good show, man. Jason was rad.
Good. Oh, you definitely seem like
I like Jason.
Yeah,
Jason.
You're a Jason type
of
dude.
You're totally a Jason dude.
He was a man. But yeah, it's a good show. I actually should probably rewatch it because it's been forever since I've watched it for sure.
Yeah,
but that's cool that you're doing that.
It's so good.
Would have been better with Pee-wee.
Yeah, so speaking of that, Pee-wee should have been in it for sure.
He would have put him in it and make a character for him.
Yeah, he would have
been Eric's
his role as the from Buffy. He could have made a cameo. He could have been that character.
Oh, he would have been one of the church people. No.
Yeah.
No, he could have been the older guy. Remember the older guy in the later seasons, like the old vampire king,
Oh,
He
yeah.
could have been. He could have
the
been.
southern guy who talks like this. That guy. Yeah.
I have a picture with. I should send it to you. You'd love it. I have a picture. I met. What the hell is his name in the show? Sam, the guy who owns the diner.
Oh, yeah.
Wolf
I have a
Boy.
picture.
Oh, we're
I
gonna
have a
just
pic-
drop in spoilers.
His
I have
name is
I have a
Sam in
picture
real
with
life.
him.
Really?
I met him at a convention. Yeah, actually, and then I went to go get sushi afterwards, and he was sitting like right in front of us, and my friend and I bought him a drink.
Oh hell
Yeah,
yeah.
he was
Did
like
you
he
go
was just
talk
by
to
himself.
him?
He was just by himself. Nah, he was by himself, and I was like, I don't want to bother him. Like it was like after the convention was over, and he
And
was
you're
like
just sitting
eating.
by himself and you didn't go like,
Yeah,
hang out?
in a booth with by himself eating sushi.
Poor
Yeah.
guy. You just left him to sit by himself. This
He
is
was
the
probably
corporate
enjoying it. He was probably
He probably
enjoying his
was.
time
I
in
mean,
G's.
That's what I thought. I was like, but we bought him a drink, and he looked back and like went like this, and that was it. But I mean, I had met him earlier that day at the convention.
So you already had like an in.
I kind of already had an in,
this
but
is
at the same
Barbara
time, I was
Crampton all
probably
over
like,
again.
It was Scott Taylor Compton all over again.
Maybe
I'm
I
seeing
think
a
I was
trend
just
with you
like
guys right now.
what we called a respect trend. That one,
No, the leaving people all by themselves, lonely
the
in the dark.
abandoning trend.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that Sam character had me.
And-
I bought like 3 button down denim shirts after watching that fucking guy. I was like,
Was Sam your favorite character?
No, but I liked his denim shirts. He had like,
Justin went through this. He went through this phase where he like pretended he like owned a diner. He was like,
I thought he had kind of a cool deal going on. He owned his
And he could
diner.
shapeshift.
Yeah, he could shapeshift. He had like a little diner. He could just crush burgers and fries whenever he wanted. There was like always
sounds
hot
like
chicks
you.
around. Yeah,
that
you know what I
is-
mean?
That whole actually
There's a
that all
bar in
sounds
there.
like
It
you.
was more like a bar.
Yeah, it was like a bar. Yeah, bar and grill.
Justin was crawling around on the floor with Pete, pretending he was like a dog.
Pretending he was a dog.
Laughing like Pee Wee, like an idiot.
Oh my god.
I'm trying to.
Oh
I
my
keep
God.
trying to steer this shit back to Pee Wee. but
This
it's
stream
not
is
working.
off the fucking rails. No, we should just do a True Blood stream.
All right, we'll have to
I
wait.
would.
We'll have to rewatch it because
All right.
we just basically went through his whole filmography at that point. And I
Yeah.
don't think he did much after 2016 when he after the big movie, The Big Holiday. I don't think it ever amounted to much after that for him. So
No.
again, I met him after all that. So I met him probably in 2018 or 17 or something. That's kind of when I met him for the first time. So he started doing the convention scene. And he was a big draw. I mean, there was so many people in line for him dressed up like him and whatnot. And
Oh, that's cool.
you know what? I will say this about him that I remember is when I did the photo op, I remember he put his arm around me and I put my arm around him. And I'll never forget this. It almost felt like he had a back brace on under his jacket. Like, because when I put
Really?
my arm around him, it was like, it felt like hard plastic. And I always thought that was
Wow.
weird. I didn't know if maybe he had like an injury or something, or if there was
I
an
wonder if
issue.
he did. He had some kind of back
And,
brace or something.
You couldn't see it. It was under his clothes. But when I put my arm around, I felt it. And I was thinking, and I didn't know if maybe he was like heavier. So he like used it as like almost like a girdle or something to like make him look thin. I didn't know. I didn't know what it was, but I'll never
Oh,
forget
I wonder.
that.
What if he was wearing a girdle or something?
I was just gonna say he was probably wearing a bustier.
But it was hard, though.
Interesting.
It was very hard. It was like a hard plastic feeling.
Well,
So, and I never
bustiers
forget
have
that because I
bony
remember
in them. They
saying to
are
my
hard.
friend, like, I remember saying, like, yeah, like, I was like, I don't know if he has this like weird back brace on or something. But
Is he like walking funny or moving funny?
no.
Hmm.
Nope.
It's
But
definitely a bustier.
I don't know. I don't know anything about those. What is it?
That's
a
like
girdle, kind of.
a
Suck
bustier
it
is
in.
like one of those things you wear to like
Oh, yeah.
like the women wear underneath their dresses back in the
Yeah,
day
sure.
to like suck them in.
Yeah. That is interesting. Maybe that's exactly what it was. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he wanted to look as lean as he did as Pee Wee.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they were.
But yeah, it was cool being able to meet him, and I guess he was struggling with cancer privately, and I don't even know what kind of
Yeah.
cancer it was. Do you guys?
Well, I read that he was like a super heavy smoker, so it probably. I mean,
Corset.
if-
That's it.
Corset.
Corset.
I know that.
yeah.
I know that name. Yeah.
So it might have been lung cancer or something.
Let's see.
Can you imagine Pee Wee, him just on set dressed as Pee Wee, just having a cig?
No,
Well,
I
they-
can't picture him smoking.
They said that he would have guards walk around with him when he was dressed up as Pee Wee to make sure that no kids saw Pee Wee Herman
Oh,
smoking.
See, he was a good dude, man.
Mhm. As he's like
That's
chain
cool.
smoking in an alley.
Yeah, gosh, that's wild.
Yeah, keep into the gimmick.
Mhm.
But yeah, man, I mean that's the filmography. Like I said, any other memories that you guys have, that maybe just popped up as we were talking about these things. Because again, he was such a staple to myself and you guys, and it seems like everybody in the chat. And guys, that we haven't said this yet. I know there's 60 people in here. Definitely hit a like on the stream. It definitely helps it out. If you guys are watching it on the replay, definitely thank you guys again as well, and hit that like button and let us know in the comments, any memories that you have of him, and was he important to your childhood, or was it just, again, it could have been a generational thing, because he really did kind of disappear right after the 90s. Like he was kind of gone. That character was gone. He was in other stuff, but not as the Pee Wee Herman character. And it's just crazy to think of how huge of a star he felt like, but it was really for like a 10-year period.
Mhm.
There's one, maybe somebody in chat knows this movie, but there's one movie we didn't mention. And are you guys know who Todd Solondz is? He did the movie Happiness and Palindromes and like weird movies.
Mm-mm.
There was like a quasi sequel to Happiness called what's it called? Life During Wartime. And I think, well, I know Paul Reubens is in it. It's one that I've never seen. I'm curious if people have seen that one. I think it was a dramatic role because
I see it right
have you
there.
guys ever seen Happiness? Have you guys ever seen the movie Happiness with John Lovitz and holy
No.
shit,
Mm-mm.
Philip Seymour Hoffman? Okay, wow, that's a hell of a movie. Okay, put that on your list. But if you were more familiar with that movie and that director, the Pee Wee being in that film is even more interesting. I'm really curious to see that movie.
I'll have to see if it's streaming anywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, we get some good comments coming in. Simon, what's going on? He said, I worked with Paul on a show about 5 years ago called Mosaic. Pleasure to have on set. Great actor.
Aw.
Happiness.
Oh, that's
is so
amazing.
Good. So again,
Yeah.
it's good to see that people had good experiences with him, and he wasn't just like, you get nervous about those people that have like these kids characters, and then in real life they're just kind of like, so it's just a gimmick, right, for them, where it's like he really lived that gimmick. And it's good to see that in some aspects of people that had been around him, he was actually a good guy. He wasn't like this big asshole putting on a front or whatever.
Yeah,
as much as like, yeah, he got in some trouble here and there, he's still a normal person in Hollywood, right? And
Mhm.
you look at Pee Wee Herman, he could have been very lonely. I mean, we don't know these things,
I'm thinking he was.
Well, you always hear about people who play these really definitive characters, like later on hate the fact that they will always be identified as that character, but it didn't seem like Paul Rubin was like that.
That story you told about him making sure that kids didn't see him smoke, like that's a really kind of a really cool insight to who he was, like behind the scenes, to prove that he did care and he wasn't, just playing the part. That's a really cool story to hear. That's interesting.
Yeah, it really is. We get some other good comments coming in now. F Bass says, F Bass. He was really concerned about his weight, and he was very vocal about it. I'm sure it was a girdle. He said he couldn't fit in the Pee Wee. Yeah, it's probably exactly what it was. But it's funny that I just never would remember that, because that was like the first thing when I remember doing it. I was like, well, that's weird. Why is this thing here? But yeah, that's crazy. He also said too is that he thinks I think he was probably a lot like Harry Crumb, which is another cool movie in real life. He had some odd fixations, but still loved what he did as his career. There is literally nobody like him in Ernest too. And I agree, there is nobody like him. And it's funny because
unlike Ernest, though, he like grew out of his character and hated it. You know what I mean?
Did he really?
Did
I
he?
didn't know. I didn't know
Yeah.
that. I didn't know that.
He didn't want to be identified as Ernest anymore, and he couldn't he was typecasted,
Mm-hmm.
He was another extremely heavy smoker, and he died of lung cancer. As I puffed this vape, which sucks. I know. Yeah, it sucks.
Stop that shit.
Yeah, I mean, it was heavy back then. It's funny now because it really has gone so downhill as far as that now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't see a lot of people doing that anymore.
What, smoking cigs?
Yeah, I just feel like it's not. I don't know. I mean, I don't know where I live. I feel like it's not what it used to be at all.
Well, a lot of places have made it really hard to just be a smoker anymore. Like you can't smoke inside anymore. You can't really smoke anywhere. You can't even really smoke outside anymore.
Yeah, back in the day, like everybody had that uncle or grandpa that smoked like 3 packs a day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's wild to think about because like my father still smokes a lot. He always has, and his family always did, and it was just something that they did. I think my mother did until she got married. They got married, and she stopped and never went back to it. And it's funny because you watch some like home videos of my brother and I when we were like little. Like he was like a baby and I was probably like 2 or 3. And it's like Christmas and all you see is like at my grandmother's house and it's like just a cloud of smoke with us opening gifts.
Smoking inside. Yeah, people smoking inside was like a whole thing, man.
It's crazy. You watch those videos and you're like, dude, this is brutal. Like it literally was like a big cloud and there's like
smoking in the car.
Like, because everybody was sitting there watching us do gifts and like every person was like smoking. It was crazy. Like my great grandmother was, my grandfather, my grandmother, you know, their friends, my aunt, my uncle, my dad. They were all sitting there, and I'm like, ooh, this is kind of bad for us. But you know, I remember my dad only smoked outside like after that. But yeah, going to his side of the family, it was like that all the time. So could have got some secondhand stuff as a child.
That's the way it was back in the day, man.
But now it's like, yeah, and I remember going to restaurants and we'd always have to sit and smoking when I was little because of my dad. And like now I couldn't even imagine eating in like a place that smelled like that. You know, it's interesting just how something so popular and big like has changed so much. Like, and how we've able to maintain that, because that was such like a part of life, and all of a sudden it just everybody decided to go against it, and it just kind of faded away a little bit. You know, and now to be a smoker, it's like one of the most expensive habits ever.
Well, yeah, that was another thing too. Is they raise the price of cigarettes like outlandishly? It was just like something stupid. Like they went from I don't know $5 a pack to like $12 a pack or something.
It's crazy.
That's ridiculous.
Let me see. Yeah, the ring. Yeah, exactly. Smoking is too expensive. And Brian's talking about this. We talked about this earlier, Brian. Yeah, I didn't realize that they even did a Blu-ray set. Justin's got the VHS collection. I've got the DVD collection. I had no idea it had a Blu-ray collection. But it seems like a lot of people missed out on it based on who was in the chat here earlier. Yeah, agree. I don't know many people either that do. At least out in the open or publicly. Todd Slon's
that's cool.
Very cool. My parents chain smoked in our house. Walls were yellow. Could run left. Yeah. You know what else is funny? And my dad is like he was gonna sell his albums. He's a big music guy. And he's like, I think I can get some money for these albums. He's like showing them to me. I'm like, I cannot get anything for these. Like, what do you mean? I'm like, they're all like yellowed or whatever. I was like, the Beatles never had like a yellow album. Like it's supposed to be like a white album. And I remember him getting like so offended. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, what the? Nobody's gonna take these. Like everything's discolored.
They smell like stale cigarettes.
Yeah.
And sadness.
It's purple rain, not yellow rain. Oh, nice, man. Coco has this shirt here with the red logo. This was a cool. I don't know who put this out, but it's cool because what's nice about it too is it actually has like a back that says like missing bike. So there's all print on the back too. I don't know if you can
Was that Studio House?
It could have been. It could have been Studio House design, but it's a real
variant. The color variant looks like a Studio House.
Yeah, they did this pink and purple one, and I did like a red one. See, now everybody's talking. My own boyfriend's still chain smoking in the house. When I go over there for 30 minutes, yeah, it is crazy. You know, even my son will go over there to my parents, and if he's down with my dad like playing and stuff, you can smell it on him for sure. But yeah, it's crazy. Yellow Rain, yeah, sounds like a different kind of movie. Yeah. Brian said he thinks it was Graveyard Goods.
That sounds right.
But yeah, guys, anything else you guys want to pop in and say? We usually like to keep these about 90 minutes. Chat's been very interactive. There's been about 60 people hanging in here, more or less, which is great for a Rad Pack show. Again, we're still really trying to build the new YouTube channel. So thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us today, for sure. Anything else, Mel, Justin, you want to talk a little bit about Pee-wee, Paul Reubens, True Blood? We'll save for another time.
I was just going to say, I mean, I'll sit here and talk about True Blood. I mean,
we got to talk about everything tonight. We talk about Ernest and Pee-wee and
True Blood and
True Blood and cigarettes and all this shit.
And we can quote Big Adventure more. Yeah.
We almost just went through the whole script there. The whole Big Adventure script.
As soon as we're done, I'm going to. I was in my head. I'm like, I was gonna end early. I could do a rat up all night tonight. I'm like, I don't know. I want to watch Big Adventure now.
I want to watch I want to go. I really want to watch the Alamo scene. That Alamo scene is so good.
Well, we
There's
know
no
live watch
basement
along
in
when the
the
4K
Alamo.
drops.
There's no basement in the Alamo. Everybody just laughs.
The stars at night are big and bright. Beyond the heart of Texas.
And everything goes back to normal after that. But the drive-in scene, paging Mr. Herman. Mr. Herman, you have a telephone call. So
The
good.
front
dude.
desk.
At the front
Instead of-
desk.
Another one I always say is something else I always say is when him and Dottie are like talking or something like that, and all of a sudden all the BMX kids are in there, and they can see that they're like, she's like flirting with him, and the guy's like, oh, it's getting a little hot in here, and the other kid goes, sweating. I say that all the time, dude. Always.
That's funny. We were just doing that extreme show. BMX culture like creeped into everything. Remember at the beginning of the movie, he's trying to show off for those BMX guys and just has that crazy crash in the front yard. I meant to do that.
Yeah. He's like,
So good.
it was so good. When he's like, when he goes to Francis's house to get his, when he thinks he stole his bike and he goes in the thing and the guy's like, he's taking his bath. He's like, where is he hosing him down? Dude,
Where's he hosing him down?
How sick was that? His bathtub was like an in-ground pool. I
Just
used
that
to be so
giant
jealous.
pool.
I was so jealous.
That's when he gives him that gum,
Yeah.
the trick gum.
Fruit, please.
Fruit,
It's so good. It's so good.
Fruit, please.
How about when he's in the magic shop and all of a sudden he puts on the X-ray goggles and he looks at the girl and he's like, "Ooh!" And the girl's
Ooh.
like, "Yeah, like you can see through her clothes."
So good, dude.
That
That magic scene's amazing.
I saw something funny in here. Oh, the dude's in the house. He says, "I used to have Joe Camel pajamas when I was a kid." All times and shit.
Hell yeah! I used to pick up
true.
I used to pick up the cigarette packs and get the Marlboro Miles
The miles
off of them. I got a Swiss Army knife and all kinds of shit, duffel bag and shit.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I should showcase it on a stream. You know those things that like they used to work out with them. Nobody really does it anymore. It's like the two handles and you squeeze them for like grip strength. Remember those things? I
Yeah,
have my dad's here in my gym hanging up, and it says Newport cigarettes on the hand.
oh, that's amazing, dude.
Like
There used to be
why?
cigarette
Where did
swag.
he get that from? Like where would he get that? Like a catalog or something?
Yeah, I
I'm sure
remember
you
all
go to
those
the store
the
and, like, buy
merch,
3
man.
packs and get man. Oh, that hell yeah! That's the first time I ever saw Twisted Sister was in that movie.
hmm
You're gonna burn and say no evil, won't you? I love that scene, and they got like Godzilla and stuff like going through the
Godzilla.
sets. So
Oh
good.
yeah, that big scene at the end where they're going through the studio lot and all those different movies.
Yeah. Jason Hervey's in this. That's it's so freaking
Jason
good.
Brolin, James Brolin's dad.
He
Wasn't that his name?
played
Jason Brolin
oh no,
or James Brolin?
Josh Brolin and
Josh
James Brolin
Brolin.
was his dad. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he played Pee Wee, like the slick movie version of him, and you had I forget the blonde's name in there playing the girl.
Look at Brian. He knows all
Wow.
about the cigarettes in the 80s. They had Newport Miles as well. He knows. The Joe Camel stuff. Actually, it's funny. I saw a company that does all these shirts. Somebody just put out a Joe Camel one today. And I was gonna
It was iconic, man.
tag you guys in it, but I didn't know if anybody was gonna want it. Yeah, we're gonna do a little Rad Pack takeover show on Fachi's Cinemas channel at the end of the month. We're gonna be watching some Friday the 13th 3D.
Hell yeah.
Woo!
Oh, Cody, you gotta go take like a photo shoot over there, man. Come on. They were also the dinosaurs in The Wizard.
Oh
right?
wow.
That's
Because that's a real landmark. They didn't make that for the movie. Like that's a deal. Like that's in like is it Arizona? Is that where it is? The dinosaurs?
I'm not sure where that is, but
Can you really go up in it like that?
I don't
I
know.
always thought that was so cool.
Yeah, that was so cool. And I think that was also in The Wizard. They also had they also used the same dinosaurs and stuff for scenes in that. But yeah, guys, this was fun to do this. And again, we kind of went off the rails and stuff, but man, I wanted to have fun with this and then keep it going through his movies and talking about him, keeping the memories alive. And we could go on and on about Big Adventure all night, but like I said, we want to try to keep this about 90 minutes, and we're actually right at that now. There's a little over 60 people in here. So guys, definitely hit the like button. We appreciate everybody coming in here and watching this with us live and on the replay. Like we said, if you like this kind of stuff, share it out. The more people can find the Rad Pack channel, and everybody who's done their Rad 9, man, like I don't even know what to say. Like I'm still
coming.
Thank
that
you.
stuff, and they're still coming, and keep doing them, guys. There's no end limit. You want to do one, you find us, 6 months down the road, and you're like, what's this challenge? Do it. Tag us in it. It's really cool.
There was somebody who's been tagging. I tried to find the name. Somebody's been doing a Rad 9, but like day by day this past week.
It's
Brian Trash.
Trash. Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. I wanted to. Okay, cool. Yeah, so cool.
Eric Perry. Yeah, definitely catch the replay, man. I appreciate that. Thank you, Chris.
Hell yeah. What's up, Eric? Yeah, this has been a really good crowd
love
tonight.
To see your Rad 9, Tony. I would love to see that.
Do it.
But guys, we have more stuff coming up this month. Again, this was extra. This was a bonus. This was actually, to be quite honest, supposed to be a record night where we we're going to do some stuff for the podcast. But we decided to go live and talk about this due to the unfortunate events that happened this week. But you're also going to see our normal live stream at the end of the month, and we're going to be going back to Camp Rad Pack. So that should be cool. That should be fun. We're still working out some details on that for you guys, but keep your ears and eyes peeled.
We have while we're kind of talking about that, I know we have an idea locked in that we've kind of been talking about, but do we want to maybe get a couple suggestions for ideas of camp themes? Is that something maybe we could?
I mean, I'll take ideas. So, guys,
we pretty much have an idea, but we've been floating a couple different things for our big Rad Pack, because like the Camp Rad Pack was one of the first big shows we ever did, so we really want to make it special.
Yeah, and I mean, I think what we have is good, but there's some things that are causing it to maybe not go as the way we wanted it to. Some things that we have no control over. But so, I mean, guys, in the comments of this video, you don't have to do it live because we're about to sign off, but in the comments, post down below, something that maybe you'd want to see on Camp Rad Pack this year. And if what we have planned just doesn't work itself out, we're definitely open for suggestions, because it's going to be a fun time as always. We're going to, get our camp gear, and we're going to get back out in the woods and do it live via tents and whatnot. So
the first time we did it, we kind of just did an all-encompassing camp movie stream where we talked about Sleepaway Camp and Ernest. We talked about so many camp movies, but I think we're trying to think of like a single theme for this one that like, so yeah, we'll take any suggestions. Like I said, we kind of have an idea what we want to go with, but who knows if somebody comes up with an amazing idea, we're like, how the hell did we not think of that? We'll consider it.
Leave that in the comments. Leave us in the comments memories that you have with Pee Wee and Paul Reubens growing up. And Mel, what do you got going on at your channel? I know you just dropped your collection haul. I saw that today.
Yeah.
How's that going? What are you going? What are you a little behind? Is that what you said? The June haul?
Yeah. This is my June collection update. So that's what I got going on. I'm just trying to catch up. So busy.
Yeah, Justin, how about you, man? What do you got? You're always pumping out stuff, though.
Man, the past couple of weeks I put out a lot of videos. I did a couple Pee Wee videos. I reviewed Barbie, Oppenheimer, Talk to Me, Cobweb. I got tons of stuff going on Movie Watch and The Dead Couch. I got a haul coming up. Working on a couple different videos for both channels. So check me out.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what I have over mine. My Anchor Bay archives. I've been pushing it back because things have been coming up. So that is one, obviously. I was going to do, now that this is over, maybe I can do like a Pee Wee Herman collection and just talk about all the different things I own as far as poster prints and the doll and the movies and stuff like that. I might do something like that, but a lot of you guys saw most of it here tonight. But yeah, and then just some of the Up All Night stuff. I'll do another collection haul of things that I've gotten recently, and talking about some news. I know the last big thing I talked about on there was the Scream Factory Night of the Demon stuff, and it's been kind of crazy with that whole stuff, but that's something else I'll talk about maybe.
I'm so bitter about that. God damn it.
It's just, I don't know.
It's choice, Justin.
I think when it comes
I think I did.
from a price point standpoint, I think you made the right choice. And to be honest, that might be the choice that I end up making, because from a pricing standpoint, it makes the most sense. But I think it's the point. You know what I mean? It's the point of this whole thing that I think really is what's kind of a bummer, because
The allotment for the
know.
single releases already selling out is such bullshit.
Yeah, that is
I mean,
ridiculous.
give me a break, dude.
Because what they're doing is they're saving there's posters left, but they're saving those posters for bundle buys, right? Because those are all in the bundle. So it's not that there's no posters left. There's just they don't want them to be left on singles. They want to save.
This is the quickest the singles have ever sold out, though. This is the quickest. And you know those bundles don't fly. That fucking Chucky bundle's still available. Like,
well,
so,
but that exactly, and I think that's why they made these single releases, the posters, very limited, because it's going to force people to go the bundle route, so they don't get all the back stock of like 1,000 boxes of pins sitting on their shelves. You know what I mean? So they're almost forcing.
Shouldn't that tell them that nobody wants that shit?
I agree.
Yeah,
I mean, goddamn.
But I mean, we don't know. Like, maybe they have a deal with the company that does the pins, like for 2 years. You know what I mean? So it's like they have to do it. I mean, who knows, right? But I just think it's kind of a little bit of a. So, you know, again,
in a way, I feel bad for gutter.
Have always kind of been like a little bit iffy.
Yeah.
But
Well,
in a way, I kind of feel bad for gutter guards
at all.
Yeah.
What's up? What'd you
I
say?
said, and why did Nightbreed not get a poster at all?
It got one, but you had to buy the bundle to get it.
Yeah, that's dumb. The single collector's edition releases that have slipcovers usually come with a rolled poster.
I think, like I said, I think that they're doing this to try to force the bundle buys because people aren't going that route.
I wanted that Nightbreed poster, so I'm really upset.
They're dumb.
Okay, well,
I would have ordered Nightbreed anywhere else if I knew
how about this?
Come with a poster.
If anybody bought Nightbreed and got a poster they don't want, contact Mel on Instagram at My Killer Podcast.
The original artwork. Dang.
Correct. Yes. Because I mean, there might be. I mean, I got a box of posters still sitting there. I mean, I'm eventually going to probably sell them, but I just haven't got to like putting them on eBay or anything. But I mean, if people are looking for something, I have a lot of stuff I'm willing to sell.
Well, that's literally the only time I ever order from Scream Factor is when I want the original artwork poster.
Yeah, same.
Right. So, I mean, again, contact Mel if anybody has it, they just don't want it. She'll take it off your hands, I'm sure.
Please.
But gang, thank you guys so much again for hanging out with us tonight. This was fun, and I had such a great time talking about this. And this is the Rad Pack signing out. And like always, stay rad.
Stay weird.
Stay killer.